Hello, this quick video was put together to describe how this free utility works that the MiaProva engineering team built for the Adobe Target community. It's an incredibly powerful utility that highlights the powerful profile service that exists within the Adobe Target ecosystem. But before I get into exactly what this is and how it works, I want to provide a little bit of background. So within Adobe Target, and I've got Adobe Target running on my side. I help a lot of companies with their use of Adobe Target, and obviously MiaProva sits on top of Adobe I/O for allowing companies to manage their testing and optimization practices. So we're intimately familiar with the services and the functionality that exists within Adobe Target. But the one thing that it does is it provides a visitor ID. This is Adobe Target's visitor ID that you might be familiar with. This is the Experience Cloud Visitor ID. So this is the ID that stitches Audience Manager, Adobe Target, Adobe Analytics together. Really powerful because then you can make use of data from all of those different systems since we have this key that's being joining those IDs together. But one thing that Adobe Target does that is somewhat unique to Target and incredibly valuable is it provides the functionality to overwrite the IDs that exist within the Adobe ecosystem. But you can rather use this to shift your optimization program to your ID. So this is an ID that we manage here at the MiaProva side. And it's just pushed to Adobe Target based off of any identifier that your organization may use. It could be an internal identifier, it could be an extra second party or third party. And what Adobe does is this is a powerful feature to allow cross-device test coordination and also the ability to upload data based off of this particular ID. So if you have data that's mapped to your internal identifier that you're passing to Adobe Target, then you can absolutely upload data to Adobe Target based off of that information. So here's me, Brian, with this Adobe Target Visitor ID and this obfuscated ID that essentially is Brian Hawkins as well. So both of these IDs, as well as the Experience ID, has data that's mapped to it. And so here, and this is the MiaProva Chrome extension, I should have highlighted that. It's a free utility for the Adobe Target community that my engineering team also built. But this lovely tab here makes a call to Adobe to understand what are the different profile attributes that are mapped to not only the Target ID, but also the first party ID within here. So all of this different data that's here, and please keep in mind none of it can be personally identifiable or sensitive in any way, but all of this can be used to create audiences within Adobe Target, to set up personalization activities within Adobe Target, and in fact for those organizations that are using Adobe Target Premium, all of these different profile attributes are used by the models to make content decisioning. So really, really valuable stuff. I can't say enough about the Adobe Target profile. I also can't say strong enough, if you're not passing your identifier, an obfuscated ID to Adobe Target, it's one of the simplest things to do, but it's by far one of the most powerful things that you can do for many reasons. I've written several blog posts on that as well. But what I wanted to highlight here is I wanted to make it quick and easy to demonstrate to organizations how quickly and easily you can get data uploaded to Adobe Target. There's lots of offline API functionality, but this is a utility that makes use of some of that. My engineering team just built a simple front end to allow you to kick the tires on this. This service is not meant to be something that you want to use on a regular basis. You obviously want to probably bring something like this in-house, but this gives you a small taste of what this functionality can do. And so I'm going to show you how it comes together. So Adobe provides mechanisms to upload data based off of your ID. So that would be your visitor ID, which would be another ID. So that would be your ID, or Adobe Target's ID, which is the visitor ID service. And you can see we highlight both of them in here when we detect Adobe Target server calls where the Chrome extension is being used. And so if I have data offline that is mapped to the Adobe Target identifier. Let's say I'm grabbing Adobe Target's ID, I'm pushing it to another system, a data lake of some sort internally or externally, and I have data mapped to it. you would want to download the template for visitor ID. Now, if your organization has data mapped to their ID, the identifier that you're pushing to Adobe Target, and again, you should certainly prioritize this because it's incredibly valuable. If you have data that's mapped to your identifier and you want to get into Adobe Target for personalization and targeting, you would use another ID. So you would simply download whatever particular template you want to use. Okay, and I've already downloaded 2 of them, and I'm going to actually show you how quick and easy this works. So I'm going to go ahead and copy. I'll start with my Adobe Target ID. So this is my Adobe Target ID. I've copied it. These are the profile attributes that already exist. I'm going to go ahead and add new ones so you know that this is a service that's happening in real time. So here are our 2 IDs. So I've got my Adobe Target Visitor ID, which is the PC ID. So I'm simply going to paste in this file. You wouldn't be pasting in values and grabbing. You would be using that other system. You would generate a CSV file, and this first column A would be a list of all of your Adobe Target IDs. And the top row here is the profile attribute name, and these are the values. So I've got 2 dogs, so I'll do dog 1, dog 2, I'll even do city. So here I'll do dog 1, Marina, named after the Marina District of San Francisco, where we moved to Chicago from. And dog 2, Franklin, favorite street in San Francisco that I used to love going down with my motorcycle. Okay, so simply save this file. Now I'll come back to the bulk uploader tool. So I'll go to upload. You're seeing that it's asking me for the Adobe Target client ID. So this is very, very specific for each Adobe Target account, but very easily attainable. So simply log into your Adobe Target account, go to administration here at the top, and on the left-hand side, you'll see implementation. This is your Adobe Target client code right here. So simply copy this value, come over here. You come over here and you paste this client ID here. Then simply select your file. This is based off the Adobe ID, so this can be the Visitor ID service. Upload the file within here. We'll do a little processing, make sure that everything looks okay. And so it's been submitted for processing. Couple things to note, I think it's a 500,000 rows and the file can't be more than 50 megabytes. And I think you have up to a million, but I know some clients are doing 7 million records a day. So Adobe processes this, so it's in order of processing it. So if it takes a few minutes, that's why, but it's usually very quick. So I'm going to come over to here. So there's my dog 1 Marina. So this is getting an update. You can see an update to these particular values within there. So now let's say the more popular use case is you want to upload data based off of your internal ID. So again, this is something that may be internal. A lot of financial institutions leverage this, travel industries. You know, when I log into United.com or log into my E-Trade account, they're passing they have a first party ID that they can make available and pass to other solutions like Adobe Target, Adobe Analytics, Amplitude, or other solutions. And so in those particular scenarios, what we want to do is download the template for another ID. Download that. The client code is going to remain exactly the same, but what we're going to do is choose a file for another ID. So let me actually go over and take a look at what this other ID is here. So this is the one for Adobe Target. Go to another ID here. So this is my ID, the first party ID I'm using. So I'm adding attributes Go Cubs, big Chicago Cubs fan, and I'm also a former employee of Offmatica. That's how I got addicted to these Adobe Target MBox things in the Adobe Target profile. So I put Offmatica Rock. So let me save all that here. Let me actually come here and upload it again. So this is another ID. And so upload the file within there. So the batch file has been submitted for processing. But again, you're not going to go in and copy and paste a bunch of IDs. I'm demonstrating just this for functionality. What you'll probably do is whatever system has data that's mapped to this ID, download it and construct it in a format that fits into our template where this is the only required field to tell Adobe Target whether it's their ID or another ID. That's why we name the files another ID. This column will be a list of your IDs, and this will be all of the parameter values and then the different columns within there. And so when you come over to Adobe, and here we can see all the from the Adobe call, the Adobe Target activities that I'm in. I'll refresh the page, see if my You can see my IDs are all there. I'll take a look at my profile, and there you have it. You see City Elmhurst, Marina Dog 1, Go Cubs, which I just added, Offmatica. This is also a utility here. So you can see it works. It passes IDs or profile attributes mask the IDs. Really, really cool. Again, I think you're limited to 50 megabytes per file. It's in the documentation that we provide on the tool. But you could also use the utility here. Let's say, like I'm 45. Let me update this. And let's say I decide to move back to San Francisco. This is a nice, lovely way, especially for QAing activities, to update your profile attributes. Really, really helpful in that regard. It's like updating a CDP. So the last thing I want to highlight is just once this data is within there, you can then use it for activities, audiences. My favorite is for the models to do their thing, but let me go ahead and show you. So all of those different attributes available is your visitor profile. So here I can do, let's see, there's my Offmatica equals rocks. I'll also have dog. I got my dog 1, dog 2, all of that. So like I said, it's really, really quick. And it's a wonderful utility to help you get data up for personalization and to help familiarize your organization with some of this functionality. So any questions, add something to the comments, hit us up at support@miaprova.com, and here's additional documentation and exactly how it works. So thank you for watching.